This is such a strange story. Started this morning on the radio with a CBS radio report that was very interesting. I love radio news. It's my background. It's my favorite thing in the world. CBS is really good at it. And this was a very unusual thing for them. They ran this very provocative, very interesting report that also made no sense. Listen to this. Tell me if this makes any sense to you.
The State Department spokesperson says some U.S. government personnel in Havana on official duty have reported incidents that have caused a variety of physical symptoms. The department hasn't made clear what those incidents have been and what those symptoms are, but it did take action against Cuba. On May 23rd, the U.S. asked 2 Cuban officials in the U.S. to leave the country. The spokesperson also says it reminded the Cuban government of its obligations under the Vienna Convention to protect diplomats. An investigation is underway.
Protect the diplomats from what? But that was the full report? Non-described incidents happened to our American diplomats in Cuba. Those incidents caused the diplomats to develop symptoms that cannot be described. Conventions. Like, what? A thing happened at a time, at a place, bad. Got it? We're not explaining further. And this report just kind of hung out there for a few hours. Wire services eventually picked it up. Nobody was able to add anything to that original radio report. So then, that same CBS radio reporter showed up at the State Department briefing today, clearly frustrated, right? Hoping to get some more actual information, some flesh to hang on those bones as to what the heck those incidents were, what those symptoms were that befell our U.S. diplomats, and how big a deal is this? So they asked today at the State Department, and then it got even weirder. And we've got that next. Stay with us. See if you can figure this out. What on God's green earth is the government refusing to explain here? See if you can figure it out.
Can you tell us about the incidents that have been going on in Havana affecting U.S. government workers there?
Yes. So we are certainly aware of what has happened there. Give me 1 second here. And that's why we got a little bit of a late start getting some recent updates for you on this.
Excellent. The State Department is certainly aware of whatever happened in Cuba. They have recent updates. They have been working on it. They have been preparing to tell us more.
I'm not going to be able to give you a ton of information about this today, but I'll tell you what we do have that we can provide so far. We don't have any definitive answers about the source or the cause of what we consider to be incidents.
If the U.S. doesn't have a definitive answer on the cause or source of the incidents, why did it ask those 2 Cuban embassy officials to depart the U.S.?
Look, some of our people have had the option of leaving Cuba as a result for medical reasons.
How many?
I can't tell you the exact number of that, but I can.
What was it, in the tens, dozens?
I'm not going to characterize it.
It's been on since 2016, and you don't know what this incident is?
What this requires is providing medical examinations to these people. Initially, when they started reporting what I will just call symptoms, it took time to figure out what it was, and this is still ongoing. We take this very seriously. Look.
What is this?
This incident, and that's what we're calling it. We don't know exactly.
The physical symptom wasn't death, was it?
No, it was not. It was not life.
Not life-threatening.
Not life-threatening, and I'll leave it at that. Anything else on Cuba? Anything else on Cuba? We're done with Cuba, correct?
We're done with Cuba. Everybody got a handle on this story? We're done, right? You write it all down? Sorted. Let's get this straight. There were incidents. We do not know what the incidents are. We do not have a date for when they happened. We do not know how many people showed the symptoms from these incidents. We will not tell you what the symptoms are, but we do know that the U.S. State Department is taking this very seriously and is happy to clear it up. Imagine if you knew somebody was working for the State Department in Cuba. Well, thank God for reporters. The Associated Press actually finally spelled this out today. Long after the State Department blew all that weird smoke, the AP got a source to describe those mysterious symptoms and what this is all about. It was a single source giving this to the AP. Quote, investigators are looking into whether elements of the Cuban government placed sonic devices that produce non-audible sound inside or outside the residences of roughly 5 U.S. embassy staffers with the intent of deafening them. American diplomats in Cuba, starting last year, have been being intentionally made deaf by secret devices placed at their homes by the Cuban government. This is not just strange, this is obviously a very bad story if this is what happened. The Cuban government, on their part, says it is now investigating these reports. In a case like this, it would be helpful to get something other than smiling word salad from our own government. But that's not the way things work anymore in our own government. We'll be right back. Hold that thought.
We take this very seriously. Look,
What is this?
this incident,
What is the incident?
and that's what we're calling it. We don't know exactly.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.